To finish off our ACC schedule previews, we've got North Carolina. This is a team that struggled in the 2018 season, but with them being as young as they were, wasn't much of a surprise there. But how are they going to do in 2019? That is what we're going to be going over today. North Carolina's schedule preview. We're going to be going over a few players that this team will be losing, who they're going to be returning, and also we are going to be looking at their schedule for the first time this offseason. North Carolina went 2-9 in 2018. They ended up not having a game last season because of a hurricane, I believe. So yeah, once again, it was a rough 2018 season for this North Carolina team. They return almost everyone on both sides, however. That is going to be extremely helpful. They lose 2 wide receivers, one left tackle, a defensive end, linebacker, and a safety. So really, they're only losing like 6 starters on both sides of the football. That is really good. So good news there. They do return Nathan Elliott as well, and his stats are okay. I mean, he's definitely got some improving to do. He had 2,100 yards, 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions last season. Not the best stats there, but once again, getting into the 2000s for the yardage, that always is good. But the touchdown-interception ratio, he does need to fix up the interceptions, that is for sure. Possible bowl season for North Carolina. I mean, yeah, they've got potential. They've got all the potential in the world just because they're returning a lot of players. When you return a lot of players, you got that experience. And when you have that good experience, I mean, that really can take you a lot of places. But yeah, what I'm thinking right now, it will be close. I mean, maybe 4 or 5 wins is definitely your best bet for North Carolina next season. It'll be close, but of course, this will likely be a pretty big rebuilding year for this North Carolina team. Here's how their schedule looks. You start off the season we're against South Carolina. That is a neutral location. Miami, Wake Forest, Appalachian State, and Clemson round out the rest of September. Then you got Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, Duke, Virginia, Pittsburgh, Mercer, and then NC State. So, really, this is kind of a tougher schedule for North Carolina next season. It will not be easy for them to be able to get 6 wins with this schedule, that is for sure. I mean, with South Carolina, that's being one of your non-conference games. That's already tough. Appalachian State is another team that is they're one of the better group of 5 conference teams. And then you got Mercer, which they'll likely be a win. But still, just kind of thinking about it, I mean, this really is going to be more of a tough schedule for North Carolina next season, especially since it's going to be more of a rebuilding kind of year. And also to add to that, you also have Clemson, so watch out for that game too. Here's what I'm kind of expecting. I only have 2 guaranteed wins for North Carolina next season, being Appalachian State and Mercer. Estimated record-wise, I'm saying 3, 9-7, and 5. No matter what, I do not think that they're going to get 2 wins again next season. They'll definitely win another game on this list with those 2. Yeah, definitely South Carolina to begin the season, that is going to be tough. Wake Forest on the road, that could be a win. They definitely have potential to win that one. I'm not going to say that, or I'm not going to put that game in green, though, just because of it being a road game. Clemson at home, I mean, I kind of want to think that they've got a chance in that game, but just Clemson's going to be too good next season. Trevor Lawrence down there, they're going to have a ton of potential next season as well. I would not be surprised to see that be more of a struggling kind of game for North Carolina. Georgia Tech on the road, Virginia Tech on the road. Both games are winnable, but I'm not sure if they're going to win them or not quite yet. Duke at home, Virginia at home. I think they're going to win one of those games. One of those games will likely be one of their signature wins of the season. Duke and Virginia, it'll be interesting because both of those teams should be pretty good, so that'll be a good win either way. Pitt on the road on November 14th. That could be a win as well once again, but it's hard to tell as we're so many months away from the season. We're only in March. I mean, we've still got 5 months until the season begins, so tough to say whether they're going to win that game or not. You also have at NC State. That'll be another challenge. I mean, really, lots of road games could be challenges on the schedule, and I mean, you don't really get many breaks at home. I mean, most of their home games are really going to be tough. I mean, Miami should be improved next season. Then you got Clemson at home as well, Duke, Virginia. So really, I mean, their home games, you don't really get a break being at home. But yeah, that's about it for North Carolina's schedule preview. Estimated record-wise, I'm saying 3, 9-7, and 5. 7-5 being the best case scenario. I think it's a possibility that they go 7-5, but that is a very, very, very slim chance. They've got about the same chance of going 7-5 as they do with 3-9. I think honestly, if you want a good estimate or a more defined estimate, I would say 4 to 5 wins is your best bet. Just because, I mean, it's going to be more rebuilding year once again. I mean, after you struggle one year, you're obviously going to be, you're rebuilding the next season. We see that with multiple teams. Like Nebraska is a really good example of that. Last season, or in 2017, they went 4-8, I believe. And then the next season, which was last season, with Scott Frost coming into town. Of course, Scott Frost being who he is, and that team has a lot of potential and a lot of talent. They just weren't able to do as well because, once again, it was a rebuilding year. I think that's what the case is going to be with North Carolina. Could they be good in a couple years? They're still going to be really young in a couple years. This is still a young team. So yeah, definitely, I think they'll be able to make a bowl game possibly in 2020. But this year it'll be tough to be able to make a bowl game. All right, that is it for this video. We are now done with ACC schedule previews. We're going to be going over onto the Big 12 now. We only have 2 conferences left, the Big 12 and the Pac-12. So stay tuned for those. But once again, thank you guys all for watching, and stay tuned for more from ASC.